Good morning, sir. Good morning, classmate. My report is all about the economics with LRT presentation by Petcha Kucha. I'm Angel Grace Orozco. I'm from section ABBS, AB Political Science, section 4A. I'm from University of Caloocan City, South Campus.
To remind me you got it bad. Ain't no other that could sweep you up like a rubber. Straight up, I gotcha. Making you fall like that.
So, before the main topics, I want to give brief history of economics. So, brief of history of economics. Adam Smith used the ideas of French writers to create a thesis on how economics should work. The father of economics, he is Adam Smith, believed that his competition was self-regulating and the government should do part in business through tariffs, taxes, or other means. Usually, it was to protect a free market competition. In 1976, the masterpiece of Adam Smith's The Wealth Net of Nations, The Mechanism of Capitalism, Capitalist Productions, Free Markets, and Values. Next, what is economics? Economics is the study of how individuals and society makes decisions about ways to use scarce resources to fulfill wants and needs. Next, we have the two studies of economics. First is macroeconomics, second is microeconomics. Macroeconomics is the big pictures, growth, employment, etc. choice made by large groups, like countries. Microeconomics, how do individuals make economic decisions? Next. So what is resources economics? The things used to make others goods. Because all resources, goods and service are limited, we must make a choice. We make a choice about how we spend our money, time, energy so we can fulfill our needs and wants. Next. But there's a fundamental problem. In economics, scarcity. Scarcity is unlimited wants and needs but limited resources. These decisions involve picking one thing over all the other possibility of a trade-off. Next. So, we have opportunity cost of economics. The opportunity cost is really important when you choose to do one thing its value. Next. So we have the four types of productions. Production is how much the stuff an individual's business, countries, events the world makes. We have a land. Land is the natural resources. Labor is the physical and intellectual. Capital is the human capital, is the brain power, ideas, innovations. Entrepreneurship is an investment. Next. So, we have three types of productions. We have a factor, procedure, and consumer. Factor, what we need to make a goods and service. Procedure, company that makes goods another delivery service. Consumer, people who buy goods and service. Next, sorry po sa background, maingay. Next is we have a capital goods, capital goods and consumer goods. Capital goods are reused to make other goods. Consumer goods is finally products that are purchased directly by the consumer. Next. So, we have a cost and revenues of economics. Cost is the total amount of money it takes to procedure and the item to pay for all factors of productions. Revenues is the total amount of pesos a company or the government takes in. Fixed cost is the amount of money a business must pay each month one a year, like rent and capital expenses. Variable cost is the amount of money a business pays that changes over time, labor, and materials. So that is the cost and revenues. Next. So what is the principle of capitalism? That your goal is a competition, smart business means lower price and higher quality products for consumer. Voluntary exchanges is the business and consumer must be free to buy all sales of what and when they want. Profit motivate is people want to make or same pesos. There are self-interest motivates and capitalism. Social safety net is mixed and economic idea that say in government capitalism business but provide security instead social security. This is the part of the economics. So what is taxation? Taxation is defined as the power of the sovereigns to improve the burden or the charges upon the person's property rights for the use and support of the governments in order to enable to discharge its function. Next. So we have a natures of taxation power. The power of taxation is the both of inherent and legislations in the character because it has been deserved by the tax trades for it to exercise. It's inherent because of the government requires constitution for them. The power of taxation is legislative in charge in the characters because only the legislatures can make the tax laws. Next. So we have a purpose of taxation. It also serves a variant of the purpose. The primary purpose of the taxation is to be raised in the revenues for the public needs so that people may be enabled to live in a civilized in society. Second, taxes is imports may be the increases to the tax domestic productions of decreases to encourage the foreign tax law. Next. So we have the basis of taxation. The power of taxation originated from the theory that the existence of the government is unnecessary. Second, no government, whether democratic or despotic, can exist without resources to finance its operation. Next. So we have inherent limitations of the power of tax. Limitations of the public purpose. It is the government's That is the taxes and power does not required beyond it is a limitations limits by the tax without it is a limits is maybe the person. Second, tax is the power of the support of the government or any of the government or where it's while directly the protections the welfare of the community in agent of measure. Next, so we have a basic principle of taxation. First is administrative responsibility, means that the tax system must be clear to the taxpayer, can be enforced and inconvenience and not burdensome of discourse in a business activity. Second is equality of theoretical justice, refers to the use of revenues which must be in belief based on the taxpayer ability to pay. Next. Next, we have inherit the powers of the government. First is the police power, authority of the government to regulate the act of the individuals even in the absence of the law for benefit and protections of public welfare. Second, taxation authority of the government is impose of taxes, changes, and fees from the taxpayers under the sovereignty or in territorial jurisdiction to support its necessary expenses. Third is emit domain authority of the government to expropriate private property for public use upon payment of a just compensations. And the last is classifications of taxes. We have two classifications of taxes. Physical taxes is designed to raise expense for government's need. Regulatory taxes is designed to achieve the some social and economic goals irrespective of whatever revenue is actually raised or not. So that is the end of my report of economics with LRT. Keep safe. I hope you always keep safe and God bless. It's music.
Smooth like butter, like a criminal undercover. Don't pop like trouble, breaking into your heart like that.
Hey.
Cool shade stunner, yeah. Oh, it all to my mother.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah.